You look terrible. I want you to eat. I want you to rest well, and a month from now, this Hollywood big shot's gonna give you what you want.
It's too late. They start shooting in a week.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Much Abrew About Nothing. And this week, we are checking out the new and maybe improved Godfather Song of Creation combo deck. So a couple of years ago, 2 or 3 years now, we played Song of Creation on Against the Odds, and it can do some spectacular things, letting us draw our entire deck in one turn. Well, now thanks to Streets of New Capenna, we got a really interesting new plan for drawing our deck and comboing off with Song of Creation. So let's talk about the deck, our new additions, jump into some games, see it in action. So the goal of our deck is simple. The only thing that matters in our deck is getting a Song of Creation on the battlefield. We got 3 in the main deck, we got 1 in the sideboard to get with Glittering Wish, so we have 7 copies of Song of Creation all together, and really, our deck doesn't do anything without Song of Creation. We will mulligan super aggressively to find it, because if we do find a resolve Song of Creation, we're probably going to win the game literally the turn that it comes down. Like, that's the whole goal of this deck. So we'll mulligan down to 4, down to 3 even, maybe, if we really have to try to find Song of Creation. Maybe not 3, that might be a little bit too far, but really, Song of Creation is worth infinite cards. It's worth all the cards in our deck if we get it on the battlefield, so we can afford to mulligan pretty aggressively to find it, because we're going to make up those cards easily. We also have Serum Vision, Sleight of Hands to dig for a Song of Creation. Then we have some ways to ramp into Song of Creation. Song of Creation 4 mana, so the fastest we could combo without ramping would be turn 4, a little bit too slow, but Strike It Rich Everflowing Chalice can get it down on turn 3. An Offer You Can't Refuse. This is the card that made me want to play the deck. This card is so revolutionary for what we're trying to do. It looks like a bad swan song, that you counter your opponent's thing and give them treasures, but that's not really what an Offer You Can't Refuse is. It's actually a bad ritual that you use to counter your own spells to generate mana, so we can like cast an Everflowing Chalice on turn 1, counter it with an Offer You Can't Refuse, get 2 treasures, and that's going to give us the mana to cast Song of Creation and start our combo and win the game as early as turn 2. That doesn't happen often, but that is a thing that can happen with this deck. Plus, we'll talk about Offer You Can't Refuse more as we talk about our big combo turn. So once we get Song of Creation, the idea is we're going to draw our entire deck, and then after we draw our entire deck, we win the game. So how do we do this? Well, most importantly, we cast 0 mana artifacts. Mishra's Bauble, Engineered Explosive, Everflowing Chalice. They're just free draw 2s with Song of Creation. And then we have our counter spells, Pact, Negation, and Offer You Can't Refuse. We do use these cards sometimes to try to force our Song of Creation through our opponent's disruption. Like if our opponent has a counter spell, we can Pact it or Offer You Can't Refuse it. But really, these are kind of combo pieces in our deck. What we are really doing is manipulating the stack. And a lot of times you'll see as we go off with this deck, we like cast a Mishra's Bauble, draw 2 cards with Song of Creation, Pact of Negation the Mishra's Bauble, while it's still in the stack, draw 2 cards with Song of Creation, and then maybe we Offer You Can't Refuse the Pact of Negation to draw 2 cards and make 2 treasures. And an Offer You Can't Refuse is the card that makes this deck work. We can tap out for Song of Creation and still have mana to cast our finisher by countering our own spells with an Offer You Can't Refuse to make treasure tokens. We get 1 extra land drop with Song of Creation, which gives us the mana we need to cast an Offer You Can't Refuse. So our main goal after we start comboing is counter our free spells with our own counter spells, so we can generate enough mana to win the game, primarily with Grapeshot. We also have some ways to like get Grapeshot back from the graveyard if we need to, that we can Glittering Wish from our sideboard. So we use our mana from an Offer You Can't Refuse to cast our finisher and win. Mana base wise, pretty typical, only 17 lands because drawing too many lands fizzles our combo. Sideboard, Thassa's Oracle, backup finisher. If our opponent has like Leyline of Sanctity, some way to hate out Grapeshot, we can bring in Thassa's Oracle, a bit of removal, a ton of stuff to protect against counter spells. Our hardest matchup by far is a Thoughtseize decks, control decks with a ton of counter spells, because if we don't get Song of Creation on the battlefield, we do literally nothing. Like, that is the only card that really matters. If we can't find it, if we can't stick it, our deck is just going to draw a bunch of 0 mana artifacts and not do anything at all. So Veil of Summer, Guttural Response, along with our main deck counters, help us have some chance to fight against control. Then a bunch of tutorable removal and answers for hate cards, and that is the Godfather Song of Creation combo. That's our Much Abrew for this week. So let's jump into some games and see, does an Offer You Can't Refuse make Song of Creation into a real threat in Modern? How much different and better is this deck now that we can counter a ton of our own spells for value? Let's find out. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll be back in a bit with a wrap up. Today's video is brought to you by Card Kingdom. You can pick up all the Magic the Gathering cards you need and support the show and even get a free MTG Goldfish sticker by heading over to cardkingdom.com/MTG Goldfish. Much Abrew About Nothing time. We are trying out the new and improved Song of Creation combo, and we're keeping this. We got the Song of Creation. Please don't be a counterspell / Thoughtseize matchup. Please, Magic Gods. All right, Strike it Rich, go. We can even ramp into it with the Strike it Rich. We got the free spell. We got everything we need to try to go off. Red, okay. Ragavan, sure. Well, Gemstone Mine. This is funny, but I think we just Grapeshot the Ragavan. Our opponent ramping into a Blood Moon would be really bad for us. Okay, well, next turn's the turn. Hopefully it's happy, fun times in Song of Creation land. I don't know how a mono red deck really beats this. And if we fizzle, we got the Strike It Rich in the graveyard to restart. We got a free spell about it. All right, well, here we go. Glittering Wish, right? Gemstone Mine, red, green. This is turn 3. Blue, and whatever. Song of Creation. Hopefully we draw into some more free spells. Engineered Explosives, X0. Draw 2. We could Pact to Negation that, but that's super greedy. Like, if we fizzle, we die greedy. You know what? We're just gonna let it go. We got the Strike It Rich in our graveyard. So yeah, well, those are not the cards we wanted to draw into to win the game this turn, but sure. We didn't even hit our extra land drop. Yeah, well, okay. There goes our hand. About it. Bone Crusher Giant, sure. Well, we get to try again next turn with the Strike It Rich and whatever we draw for the turn. I think there's a good chance we get it this turn. Hopefully. Watch us just go land. Once we get snowballing, the snowball shouldn't stop. But do we get snowballing before we die? Oh, come on. Graveyard Hate would be the worst. Blood Moon. All right, that actually doesn't matter. Okay, an offer you can't refuse. Well, we will Strike It Rich. Trigger, draw 2. Play the land. Manamorphose. Trigger. Okay. Blue, I think we're good now. Add blue, red. I guess it doesn't matter, does it? Blue. So what we do is we play Serum Visions. And we're actually, this is where the deck got the big upgrade. So we Serum Visions. With the trigger on the stack, we get to offer you can't refuse it. We draw 2, we get the treasures to fix our mana. And now we're off to the races. Now we got the full hand. Explosives, draw 2. Island, same trick, Serum Visions. Draw 2. Pact to Negation it, draw 2. Pact to Negation it. Draw 2. An offer you can't refuse. The Pact to Negation. Does this end with our Serum Visions resolving? It does. That works. Bottom and bottom. Okay. 28 cards in the deck. Explosives. Draw 2. I think we should win from here. Sure. Chalice. Snow Kicker. Draw 2. So we need 4 mana. For us to win, we need 4 mana. Which means we need one more Strike It Rich. That's what we're looking for. Okay, or one more offer you can't refuse. All right, so there's that. Now we can Pact to Negation the Explosives, draw 2. And then offer you can't refuse. The Pact of Negation. Draw 2. And now we should be good, because now we can just let stuff resolve, Strike It Rich, draw through the rest of our deck. So Strike It Rich, draw 2. So all we're trying to set up now is we used our Grapeshot. We could find our Noxious Revival. Strike It Rich. Either we need Noxious Revival, or we just need to Thassa's Oracle from the sideboard. All right, guess this. Draw 2. We just have to not mill out 10 cards. 8 cards. Okay, I think we got there, hopefully. All right, there's a Noxious Revival. Noxious Revival. Get the Grapeshot back. Yep. Free spell. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, we fizzled on turn 3, but we got there on turn 4. Storm count 21. And last but not least, Grapeshot your face. 21-ish times. Wow. All right, 3 cards in the deck. We did it. We went all the way. Everything at the same target, and that is it. And you can see the upside of the new edition. Like, this is what an offer you can't refuse allows. I think we were thinking about this card all wrong. During spoiler season, our focus was on mostly how can this be a swan song style effect? Like, how can we use this as a swan song? When in reality, what the card actually is how can we use this as a ritual? Because it's a janky ritual. You got to counter your own spell, but it works really well in this deck because we got a bunch of spells that we don't want to resolve anyway. Like, we don't care about that explosives resolving or that chalice resolving. So in this deck, it's kind of draw 2, make an extra mana, and then that gives us some mana to use our finisher. So, well, I mean, that's an offer you can't refuse. That is the mobstery Song of Creation combo. We don't have a ton for this deck. So opponent's mono red with Blood Moons. The Besejus might be worth it. Like, Beseju can deal with Blood Moon. That game, Blood Moon didn't matter, but there are going to be games where Blood Moon does matter. Maybe the Fire Spout? Go down. Maybe like 1 Scalding Tarn. Maybe 1 Pact of Negation? Maybe 2 Pact of Negations. All right, let's try it like that. So we actually have 1 more land in our deck, but we're planning on discarding the Besejus anyway. That's our protection for the Blood Moon. Like I said, that game was fine because we got our stuff down fast enough that it didn't matter. Ooh. I actually think we keep this. Yeah, we're going to keep this. Only 1 land, but we got the song. We got the free spell. We got an offer you can't refuse. We got a Serum Vision. So basically, we're just digging for lands. And we even got the Strike It Rich for the restart. All right, Bonnet going to 5, looking for something. Mountain and Ragavan. Well, Island Serum Visions. I don't like giving our opponent Fobble, but I think we have to. We do need the land. All right, put on top. So opponent gets to steal the bauble and play the bauble, and they get a treasure, blah, blah, blah. This is going to be interesting. Maybe we want to get Blood Mooned here? That sounds ridiculous, but I almost think we want to get Blood Moon. Gonna get in with the Ragavan. We know what they're stealing. Steals the bauble. Gets a treasure. Plays it. Takes peek, sees our land. Light up a stage. Chandra in a land. Opponent passes. Gets to draw gets to draw something. Now what? What if we engineered explosives and then offer you can't refuse it? That sets us up to hopefully win next turn, even through a Blood Moon. Yeah, honestly, I think that's what we do. So engineered explosives X0. An offer you can't refuse. Counter it. Get some treasure. Hallowed Fountain tapped. Pass turn. All right. I mean, this is it. We got it in hand. As long as our opponent can't disrupt this, we should be set up to go for the win. Bolts our face. That's fine. They're not going to kill us this turn. If they can kill our treasures, that would be annoying. Although they're pretty incentivized to try to Chandra. I don't think there's anything in our deck that's going to beat us. Opponent. Most of our deck's probably not even going to help our opponent very much. Steals a land. All right, there's the Chandra. Sure. Pings us down to 12. Sex treasure for Bone Crusher. All right. Well, this is it. Here we go. We untap. Ooh, Strike It Rich is fine. So we play Beseju. Blue, green, whatever, red. Song of Creation. Strike It Rich. Draw 2, make a treasure. Strike It Rich. Draw 2. Make a treasure. Everflowing Chalice. Draw 2. Ooh, that was a bad set of draws there. Gemstone Mine. Manamorphose. We do probably need to win this turn. Draw 2. Oh no. Red, blue. Manamorphose. Draw 2. Red, blue. Okay, there's an offer you can't refuse. We'd like to find a free spell to go with it. Strike It Rich. Draw 2. Okay, that's good. So now we get to Bobble. That's what we were looking for. Bobble, draw 2. Now we should be good. Offer you can't refuse. Counter it, draw 2. All right. Now we got a little mana to work with. That's what we wanted. And we have the Grapeshot in hand, so we should be able to just hopefully storm all the way. Ooh, Noxious Revival helps too. All right, we do need, what, one more mana at some point? Which means one more offer you can't refuse. All right, I mean, I guess we're back to Manamorphoses. Sack, Manamorphose. Draw 2. Red, blue. Storm count's 12. We should still have a bunch of offers you can't refuse, right? Multiple. I'm worried about running out of mana. All right, let's get back. Strike it rich. Draw 2. Okay, there's an offer you can't refuse. Sleight of hand. Take Pact Negation. Okay, that's another free spell. That's good. Okay, so now we get to Engineered Explosives into Pact of Negation. Draw 2. Offer you can't refuse. The Pact of Negation. Draw 2. Get our mana. Did we find another offer you can't refuse? We did. All right. Offer you can't refuse. Draw 2. Storm count 18. Get the mana. Explosives. Storm count 19. Wow. This is going to go just like last game. Storm count 20, draw 2, and last but not least, Grapeshot to close it out. Oh, that was so good. That was so good. All right, way back here at the beginning of our hand. Grapeshot, your face. Oh, we got there. Well, I mean, that is exactly what this deck wants to do. When we're not getting Thought Seize, it's a really, really fast combo. Like, this is turn 3. We won turn 3 and turn 4. You can see why an offer you can't refuse matters so much. Like, that is a card that makes this work. This totally changes this entire combo and makes it so much better. So, not bad. Not bad. Sweet. All right, Much Abrew About Nothing time. We are playing the Godfather version of Song of Creation combo, and you know what? This I think we actually can keep. Yeah, that's fine. We'll put a land to the bottom. All right. So we don't have Song of Creation, but we do have 2 cantrips to dig for it. We got the free spells to get the fun started after we find it. Blue mana, Ottawa. Well, Breeding Pool untapped, and Serum Visions. 1, 2, 3. All right, Gemstone Mine bottom, Glittering Wish top. I mean, that's good. Although, whenever I see blue mana, I'm a little scared because counters are really good against our deck. So that always makes me nervous. You need a treat bear? There you go, bud. Oh, it's Living End. Okay, this will be interesting. Opponent, cycles. Steam Vents, untapped, cycles. So we can't stop our opponent. Are we going to be too slow? Maybe, probably. Well, Misty Cracket. Get a Hallowed Fountain untapped. Glittering Wish. Get our Song of Creation, I think. Yeah, nothing else is actually relevant. So, yeah, Song of Creation. The funny thing is an offer you can't refuse would be good just as a counter spell here. We don't have it. We didn't know we were up against Living End, or we would have maybe tried to find one. But that is some main deck tech that can stop this combo. Well, let's see. If our opponent can reanimate here, we're probably dead. If we get one extra turn. Okay, so opponent not living ending yet. Oh, but they have a grief. All right, so opponent seems to be lacking the mana, but they do have the ability to take our Song of Creation. Yeah, this deck got so much better with Modern Horizons too. Grief is like such a huge addition to that deck. Opponent cycles. All right, so now we just have to hope they never hit a land and that we find another Song of Creation. Easy. So let's think about this. Well, let's Sleight of Hand. Actually, do we want to thin our deck first? We can get a forest? Well, actually, no. You know what? It doesn't matter. Well, it matters a little. I guess, how much power do they have? So we're dead in one turn no matter what. 5. Yeah, all right, whatever. So we're dead either way. Like, if our opponent does their thing, we're dead. We don't have an extra turn, so we might as well thin the deck. Get a Stomping Grounds untapped. Sleight of Hand. Ooh, Pact of Negation. That could stop, but we can't pay for it yet. So we take Pact of Negation. That would give us an answer to Living End in 2 turns? Interesting. Or we just Sleight of Hand and keep digging for something. Well, let's take Sleight of Hand. Sleight of Hand. Take a Mishra's Bauble. Play Mishra's Bauble. take a peek. Oh no, they have Force and Negation too. Well, Force and Negation means we're not dying this turn. That's something. But Force and Negation also means Song of Creation not likely to resolve. All right, so we know our opponent's drawing Force and Negation. We draw Serum Visions. And opponent's drawing next turn, Cycler. Okay. Well, all right, we just need our opponent to never hit a land. Easy. Easy and simple. Opponent passes. We get to draw 2. Or draw 1, rather. Oh my god, more lands. All right. Well, Misty Rainforest, cracked Misty Rainforest. I don't think we have many lands left in our deck. We have a single forest we can fetch. All right, so the flood is over. Serum Visions. Offer You Can't Refuse is very good. Well, put on top, put on top. Well, okay, that's actually super sweet. We have a shot now. So we know our opponent's drawing a Cycler, so they can't living end this turn. They need a land still. Okay, there's the land. So next turn they might be able to. So we're gonna draw an Offer You Can't Refuse. If our opponent can combo, we can use Offer You Can't Refuse to stop it. If our opponent can't combo, then we can use an Offer You Can't Refuse to protect our combo, and we can try to win. Opponent cycles. So they're gonna need double Force and Negation, which is a possibility. Well, okay, white, green. I guess we can't win this turn anyway, can we? White, green, Glittering Wish. Opponent, Force of Negations. Yeah. Well, play an island past the turn. Yeah, counters are good against us. The counter and the grief, add those together, and that's tough. Opponent, land. All right, not going for it yet. Come on, Song of Creation off the top. Violent Outburst. Yeah, we have to try to counter it because they get to control the top of our deck. So opponent gets treasures. They might be able to just do this again. Yeah. Ugh. Well, that is, we're seeing the full Godfather experience. Like, so now we're dead. We're seeing the full experience where an Offer You Can't Refuse as a counter spell. Pretty bad. We just countered our opponent's living end, and they still living end because of the mana we gave them. On the other hand, as a synergy piece / ritual, it can be pretty good. This is a tricky matchup because we don't really have a way to stop this. We do get to play first. I mean, I guess we bring in Veil of Summers. It's because we can't afford to get griefed and Force Negation. All right, running like that. But we can't stop our opponent's thing. This is purely a goldfish race. We got to do our thing before our opponent does their thing. It's possible. The downside is, well, I guess we have disruption too, sort of. Although our opponent definitely refused that offer. We did what the deck wanted to do protection-wise, and it just wasn't very good. What a weird card. I think the only way this is seen play is basically how we're doing it as a ritual. It reads like a counter spell, but it just goes to show how much Magic has changed and how anything that adds extra mana can be powerful. Like, think of the old days of Magic where you just had like Dark Ritual. Just like 1 mana, make 3 mana. In cards like that, now we have Offer Can't Refuse. 1 mana, make 2 mana, and you gotta counter one of your own spells to do it. And that's still like driving this combo deck. Like, this is making the deck actually work. So, all right, so we are on the play for game number 2, and well, I mean, we're gonna keep this. Unsure if it's fast enough, but I like the Veil of Summer. That means we can protect ourselves from a grief at least. Can find our Song of Creation. We don't actually have extra mana. Oh, this is interesting. All right, untap, Steam Vents. We don't have a free spell either to cast right away. Well, Steam Vents tapped past the turn. So I think we wait until next turn to Glittering Wish. Opponent cycles. Because next turn we can Glittering Wish with Veil of Summer up. There's the grief. Pitching a grief. All right, well, it's Veil of Summer time. Crack Misty, Breeding Pool, untapped. Veil of Summer, Fizzle the Grief. All right, there's a free spell. Well, it's gonna be interesting. Opponent land. If they get to reanimate next turn, it's so bad. Gemstone Mine, white, green, Glittering Wish. Take a Song of Creation, Sleight of Hand. Well, I guess we take a land. We don't want the Grapeshot. All right, pass the turn. The problem is if they get to living end here, then they get back the grief, which takes our Song of Creation, and then we're still done. Oh, they got it. Well, it seems like this might actually not be a very good matchup for us. Our opponent, also, we can win on turn 3 with our best draws. Our opponent wins on turn 3, but they have a bunch of redundancy that we don't have. So opponent gets a big reanimation. Yeah, I think we're dead. Because they not only do they get to grief us and take the Song of Creation, they also get to stack the top of our deck, which is going to make it much less likely that we have a Song of Creation. I guess we can try to like Manamorphose to see more cards, but I don't know. Not feeling confident. Well, we pass. We untap. We draw Strike It Rich that our opponent put on top of our deck. Well, we will red and green, Manamorphose. I mean, we need essentially a miracle. Red, green, Everflowing Chalice, Manamorphose. I mean, this has gotta be Song of Creation. Red, green, Everflowing Chalice, and death. We are dead, right? 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Well, I mean, I guess we're not actually officially 100% dead. Well, okay. Run out a bunch of stuff, pass the turn. So we can drop to 2 and we get 2 more looks at it, maybe? Opponent, top card, Architect. All right, opponent gonna hit us. And this also depends on our opponent not having a counter too. Hits us for 1 billion. Oh, all right. Yeah, there's a pump spell. Well, that didn't go well, did it? Oh, boy. Well, on to the next. Much Brew About Nothing time. We are playing the new Godfather version of Song of Creation combo in Modern, and we're mulliganing a bunch, and we'll keep this. Well, bottom and I guess bottom. So I think our hope is Glittering Wish to get a Song of Creation and see what happens. I think Ramp would be our best draw. There's a Ragavan. Sure. Manamorphose. Well, Misty Rainforest. Go. We could use Chalice to ramp, but I don't think it's really worth it. We actually might have to crack this fetch. We don't have that many fetchable lands. Like if our opponent hits the right fetchable land, it's going to be a problem. Let's take Stomping Grounds tapped. Opponent gets a treasure, steals a Strike It Rich, which we actually would have liked. It will end up in our graveyard, though, if our opponent casts it. So maybe they don't want to cast it. Ignoble Hierarch. And Beseju, glad that's gone. And Ignoble Hierarch, that's going to be a good Ragavan. Pact of Negation. You know what I think we do is I think we play the island, Everflowing Chalice. So the idea here is if we draw a Song of Creation, we'll have the mana to cast it, which will be sweet. If we don't draw a Song of Creation, we can Glittering Wish for it next turn. Opponent gets in, hits us for 4. Please don't steal Song of Creation. Oh, that would make me so sad. Serum Visions. Opponent can cast it off the treasures. We are on a clock. I don't know if we're going to be fast enough here being on the draw. Opponent, Serum Visions. Turn 1, unchecked Ragavan. With us being on the mold of 5, not exactly the start we're hoping for. I don't think we should mold a 4, though. 4 is not enough. 2 to the bottom. Opponent, Windswept Heath. Cracks it. If our opponent has a good follow-up here, we might be dead before we can really try to go off. Temple Garden. Although this does feel like the kind of matchup our deck should be good in, like just playing creatures and beating down. Oh, yeah, that's an issue. Ren. So now our opponent can potentially go infinite. Ugh, okay. Wow, we draw the Song of Creation. But we can't trigger it yet. Manamorphose. We need to hit a free spell. If we hit a free spell, we can go off. Yeah, we got to go red-green, don't we? Yeah, red-green. Scalding Tarn. Do we live another turn? Play Gemstone Mine. Glittering Wish. We can't cast any of this stuff either, unfortunately. Well, I mean, let's take Fire Spout. Pass the turn. All right, we really need a free spell. If we draw a free spell, and our opponent doesn't go infinite, then there's some chance that we just win. Actually, a pretty good chance. Worst case, if we're alive, we can sweep the board and wait. Opponent steals. Oh, that would have worked. That was a free spell. Oh, that was exactly what we wanted to. Well, I mean, maybe our plan is sweep the board. Opponent casts Noxious Revival. Puts Misty on top of our deck. So we know we're not drawing a free spell. Well, now we got to hope this Fire Spout holds. Opponent gets a tap land, gets back the land, and passes. Okay, this is fine. Red, blue, whatever. Fire Spout. Sweep the board. Hopefully. Coco would be bad, I guess. Sweep the board. Play the Misty. All right, so we're back in the... We need something to trigger the Song of Creation, and our opponent not to Coco here. Okay, no Coco. We need basically anything to trigger Song of Creation, and we can win. And we got enough mana now that pretty much any non-Song of Creation card is going to work. Opponent crack. So I think we have we got a decent chance. We can thin the deck. We can go to 8. Anything. Not another counterspell. A counterspell would also be a whiff because we need a target to cast it. Well, opponent's doing nothing though. I guess I could have another Beseju. Usually decks only play 1. Well, thin the deck down to 8. They probably got some removal in hand, I guess. Doesn't really matter. Get a breeding pool tapped. All right, deck. Spell. Just a spell. Manamorphose. Okay, that works. Scalding Tarn. We got to go for it. Scalding Tarn. Crack Scalding Tarn. Down to 7. Oh, okay. Oh, down to 5. This makes me a little nervous because of double bolt. Green, red, white, whatever. Song of Creation. Just kidding. Green, red, blue, whatever. Song of Creation. All right, here we go. Red and green. Manamorphose. Draw 2. Red, green. Okay, Pact and Negation. We might start pacting our own spells here. Manamorphose. Draw 2. Okay. Oh, double land. All right, so we're definitely... Yeah, we're going to pack that, I think. Pack the Manamorphose. Draw 2. Pack the Pact. Draw 2. Manamorphose resolves. Blue, red. Everflowing Chalice, X0. We should be good, I think. Wouldn't mind drawing another counter, but I assume if our opponent could interact with this, they would have interacted with it by now. Mishra's Bauble. Or kill us. Like, if they could have killed us, they would have done that by now, too. All right. Draw 2. Engineered Explosives. Draw 2. Are we actually going to end up winning this? Ooh. Yeah, we can let that one go. We are going to need to counter one of these, though. Everflowing Chalice. Draw 2. Pact of Negation it. Draw 2. An offer you can't refuse the Pact. Draw 2. Get some treasures. Let it resolve. So now we just basically got to find Grapeshot and we win. Explosives. Draw 2. Storm count 12. Wow, I can't believe we're going to pull this off. Now I think we hold on to the counters if we can, just in case. Bobble, draw 2, storm count 13. Explosives, draw 2, storm count 14. Bobble, and offer you can't refuse. Draw 4. Where's that Grapeshot? Opponent's at 11. Like, if we ever find the Grapeshot, we just win. I mean, we're going to find it eventually. Bobble. Draw 2. Hopefully it's not like the very bottom card. There is a way. If it's the very bottom card, we could be in trouble. Wow, that would be unfortunate if we do all this and lose. Actually, maybe it will still work. Where's that Grapeshot? Oh my God, still haven't found it. Okay. Would you like to scoop, opponent? Would you like to scoop? Engineered Explosives. Oh my goodness, please find this Grapeshot. Can we stack the triggers so they resolve first is the question. Okay. Or we just find the Grapeshot and we're good. All right, there's a Grapeshot. And I think this means we got him. Oh, storm count 19. Grapeshot. Oh, we can stack the triggers so we draw last too. Do you have an answer to Grapeshot, opponent? No. Oh, okay. Wow. We took the hits, we mulled to 5 and still got the win. That was pretty impressive. Well, this is the kind of matchup we really want to play. This is the dream. Do we need the Thassa's Oracle? Maybe? Thassa's Oracle is in case our opponent has like a Leyline or some other Storm Hate card to stop Grapeshot. I think we're probably going to bring it in. Explosives is actually kind of relevant as a spell. We can probably trim like a couple Pact Negations, bring in Maybe the Abrupt Decay to have another answer and run it. What about Mind Collapse? If it's your turn, you can sacrifice a mountain rather than pay its cost. So that's another good answer. So what would we be concerned about? Some sort of like tax card, like a Thalia or something? I mean, maybe we should probably bring one in. Maybe go down like a sleight of hand. Try it like that. So bring in a little bit of removal. Go down a couple counters. That worked. Offer You Can't Refuse is actually like so good in this deck. Kind of hilarious. It's really funny that it doesn't really work like a swan song, but it's really good as a ritual. Sand's actually interesting because we actually have defense. We can Glittering Wish. We have 2 dead finishers in hand though. You know what? Let's just mulligan. All right. These lands scare me a little bit. So it's a hand that can go off if we can find the temporary lands. You know what? We're going to keep it. We will put a Offer You Can't Refuse to the bottom for now. All right. Well, let's see if we can find a Song of Creation. Opponent, Windswept Heath, and... Okay. I thought we put that to the bottom, but close enough. Close enough, Moto. Sleight of hand. Definitely a land. Lands that actually make real mana are pretty helpful here. So we can ramp into Song of Creation, Devoted Druid. Well, opponent might just be going infinite, which is scary. I guess we can Offer You Can't Refuse it if we have to. Well, Steam Vents, untapped. Strike It Rich. Yeah, let's play the Bobble. Yeah, crack it now. We might need the card during our opponent's turn. Ren on top, that's fine. That's not a card that goes infinite. Well, show us Song of Creation. We're set up to win pretty much if we can find it. Would prefer not to have to give another Bobble. Would prefer not to have to give our opponent treasures, countering a Luxor, but we'll see. 3 mana, untaps it. 4 mana, Karn the Great Creator. Oh, well, this feels bad, but I think it's unfortunately necessary. Yeah. Karn. Gonna make an offer you can't refuse. That's pretty good against all of our treasures and whatnot. Opponent. Ren in 6 gets back a land. Well, we're on a clock. We need to find this Song of Creation relatively quickly. Our opponent, they eventually are going to find their pieces to go infinite. Wooded Foothills. Passes. Do we try to Manamorphose into it? Gemstone Mine. I think we do. Red, blue, Manamorphose. Come on, Song of Creation. Add red and blue. Everflowing Chalice, Manamorphose. Red, blue, Island. Mishra's Bauble. Yeah, I mean, I guess that mana goes to waste past the turn. Oh, that is a downside to this deck. Like, if we don't have Song of Creation, we do nothing. Opponent. Do they go infinite? Opponent shuffles. Forest. So Luxor means infinite mana. Gets back the land. Passing? Well, Mishra's Bauble. Take a peek. Ignoble Hierarch, that's fine. So it'd be a good time for a Song of Creation. We get to draw 2. Oh, 2 lands. All right, Scalding Tarn. Crack it. Hallowed Fountain, untapped. Strike It Rich. The fizzle is on at the moment. Strike It Rich, make a treasure, go. Opponent cracks. We're giving our opponent so much time to kill us. Gets a tap land. Opponent. The good news, I guess, is we have so much mana now that we can potentially Glittering Wish for Song of Creation and combo in the same turn. Assuming we're alive and don't get carned and don't get comboed, etc. Oh dear. Vivian on the hunt. Okay. Doesn't have the pieces to go infinite, so I think this means we basically got to win this turn. If our opponent gets to untap, they're going to win. So we gotta draw it this turn. Opponent ticks up, draws some creatures. All right, Felidar Guardian. All right. So I'm gonna Creation off the top, and we can steal this win. That's what we need right now. Another Everflowing Chalice. All right. When this deck runs bad, it runs hilariously bad because so few of our cards do anything without Song of Creation. Opponent wins with a 3-drop. They win with a Saheeli, I guess. They win with so many. Actually, no, they just win, right? They win with a 4-drop here. They can start the loop with, well, some people might not have seen the Vivian combo yet. Interesting. Oh, I guess this also works. So they sack this, get the 3-drop. They already have the Felidar Guardian in hand, which they can cast. So yeah, our opponent does. They do deterministically win here, and we can't stop it with our handful of Everflowing Chalices. Opponent gonna put a Planeswalker into play. More Vivians. Well, now we know what our opponent's doing at least. We definitely want that other Mind Collapse. but mostly, yeah. So you can see how this combo works real quick, just in case you haven't seen it. So the Vivian combo starts with a 3-drop. Oh my god, they did all this for no reason. They could have just cast a Felidar Guardian. All right, so you're supposed to sack a 3-drop, get the Felidar Guardian, but they had already drawn the Felidar Guardian. The Felidar Guardian blinks to Vivian, so you can use it again. That sacks the Felidar Guardian. See if our opponent actually, maybe our opponent doesn't know the combo. They do need the Karmic Guide and the Kiki to not be in hand. So Vivian gets a 5-drop. It'll be Karmic Guide to get back the Felidar Guardian. It should be Karmic Guide to get back the, okay, Karmic Guide gets back Felidar Guardian. Blinks Vivian. So you can use Vivian again. Felidar Guardian gets sacked to get Kiki to copy the Karmic Guide to get back the Felidar Guardian, and then you go infinite with the Kiki combo. So once we see, yeah, all right. So opponent, the one reason to stick it out against this deck is typically these decks only play one of each of the combo pieces. We kind of saw that with our opponent drawing that Felidar Guardian. They didn't have it in their deck. It still worked out in that case. But if your opponent had like drawn the Kiki or something, or drawn the Karmic Guide, it can potentially fizzle the loop. So that's the only reason to make your opponent stick it out a little bit, is just to make sure that they actually have all the combo pieces. All right, well, we're bringing another Mind Collapse for sure. Probably still want the Fire Spout in the sideboard. I guess we can go down like 1 mana Morphos, try it like that. So really, we gotta draw the Song of Creation. that is the TLDR. You see what happens when we don't draw a Song of Creation? We do quite literally nothing. So we got the Glittering Wish, but we only have 1 land. I think we gotta mulligan this. If we had 2 lands, it'd be good. All right, this is actually pretty good. So we can put back the Thassa's Oracle. We basically need a free spell and enough mana to get down Song of Creation. Let's take Steam Vents. We do get to set things up a little bit with Serum Visions. Song of Creation to the bottom. Serum Visions, I guess, can stay to the top. Okay, well, that's an extra land. We also gotta live long enough to actually do this without our opponent just going infinite. Windswept Heath cracks it. The super aggro line is to offer you can't refuse the Serum Visions. Maybe we should Manamorphose first to get more information. All right, play the island. Yeah, let's Manamorphose. Because we do need... so Offer of Can't Refuse gets us to 5 mana next turn. But we do need something to trigger Song of Creation. So let's Manamorphose. Add double blue. Pact of Negation. Yeah, I think we do it. Serum Visions, Offer You Can't Refuse. Ritual it, pass the turn. So basically, we need a 1 mana spell or a free spell to start the Song of Creation chain. And we win. Should win. Could still get unlucky, I guess. So like the 1 mana treasure thing would be great. Okay, there's a red. Yeah, gets back the land, plays the land. Come on, deck. Anything that's 0 or 1 mana, Stomping Grounds and Shadow Sphere. Sure. Anything that's 0 or 1 mana, and we should win the game this turn. Everflowing Chalice. All right, we're going for it. We are going for it. So, Gemstone Mine, red, green, blue, whatever. Opponent's also tapped down, so they shouldn't be able to interact with this. Song of Creation. Everflowing Chalice. Keep priority. We might have to counter this. We'll see what we draw. Ooh, okay. Pact of Negation it. Draw 2. Offer You Can't Refuse the Pact of Negation. Draw 2. Okay, now we should be good. Strike it, Rich. Okay, so there's a good chance we should be able to just play through our deck here now and win. Mind Collapse, eh? Oh, that's fine. We don't need our lands anymore. Mind Collapse. Sack the mountain. Kill the Hierarch. Draw 2. Strike it, Rich. Draw 2. Okay, there's Offer You Can't Refuse. That's good. That's very good. Scalding Tarn. Crack it. Breeding Pool. Untapped. Everflowing Chalice. X0. Okay, now we're definitely good, because now we get to counter it. So now we have all the mana we need. And we should have enough cards that we can't really fizzle. And we still have counter backup. There's the Grapeshot. All right, Bobble, draw 2. And now we just go through the motions for a minute. Bobble, draw 2. Opponent's at 14, so we don't actually need to get our storm count that much higher, honestly. 2 win with Grapeshot. All right, Explosives, draw 2. Strike it, Rich. Draw 2. Manamorphose. draw 3. Chalice, draw 2. I mean, I guess we can just win here. All right, let's play the explosive first. I don't think our opponent has any way interacting with this. We should be good. Oh, is that offer you can't refuse? All right, let's do that. Offer you can't refuse. Makes a mana, draw 2. Yeah, I think we can just Grapeshot. If this goes wrong somehow, then we can try to win with Hasa's Oracle. Grapeshot you. Got him. Got him. Who's the better combo deck now? That's turn 3. That's turn 3. Godfather, Song of Creation. Yeah, F6 it. Ping, 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 ping. And opponent. Done. All right. That was good. That shows, I mean, that's upside of the deck. We saw this was the full Godfather Song of Creation experience here, where game 1, we managed to somehow sneak out a win after tutoring a Wrath from our sideboard with Glittering Rish. Very unlikely. Game 2, we never found Song of Creation, and we died doing quite literally nothing. And then game 3, ran with a Song of Creation, win on turn 3, pretty much unbeatable for a deck like this. So, yeah, sweet. Go Song of Creation. Much Abrew About Nothing time. We are playing the Godfather version of Song of Creation combo. We got everything we need to win. We need the mana. Opponent, Sea Chrome Coast. Oh god. Steel Shaper's Gift. All right, so opponent is Hammer Time by the looks. Yep, it's a hammer. Well, Misty Rainforest, crack Misty Rainforest. Breeding Pool, untapped. Serum Visions. Bottom, top. Pass the turn. I mean, the only real question is, do we live long enough? Opponent untaps. And I guess, do they have main deck counters? Ink Moth Nexus. Stoneforge Mystic. So we shouldn't be able to die next turn, right? They don't have enough mana. So I think, as crazy as this sounds, I think what we do is counter our own Serum Visions with an offer you can't refuse, just to make some mana. So play the island, Serum Visions. Make Serum Visions an offer it can't refuse. Make some treasures pass the turn. And in theory, we should win the game this turn. We'll see. We got a free spell to get it started. There still is some whiff potential. So Garda's Aid. Thankfully, not enough mana to fire up the Ink Moth and put a hammer on it. I guess if they have 2 hammers, they could Stoneforge us to death, which would be incredibly awkward. All right, opponent passes. All right, well, here we go. Misty Rainforest, crack Misty Rainforest. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have a random counter. Grab a Stomping Grounds, untapped. Green, red, blue, whatever. Song of Creation. Resolves, bobble. Draw a couple cards. Well, Scalding Tarn, crack it, thin the deck. Hollowed Fountain, untapped. Manamorphose, draw 2. Opponent's going to put an equipment into play. Well, we'll see. The pinch right now is mana. Yeah, there's Calder complete. So the pinch is mana. There is still risk of fizzling. Hopefully that doesn't happen. All right, we get to draw 2. Grapeshot and nothing. Red, blue. Oh my god, even more lands. All right, let's crack this bobble, see what's on the top of our deck, I guess. It's a bobble. Okay, sleight of hand. Draw 2. We got the wrong colors of mana going. Or take the bobble. Draw 2. So we need to find Strike It Rich. Pact of Negation, the bobble, draw 2. We basically got to find the Strike It Rich. And we do have to win this turn. Now, Pact of Negation, draw 2, draw 2. As long as we keep hitting free spells, we should get there eventually. Once we find Strike It Rich, then we can offer you can't refuse one of these free spells. And then we have all the mana we need. Okay, Noxious Revival, does that do anything? I mean, I guess it can get back a free spell eventually if we're desperate. Explosives. All of these Strike It Riches are apparently at the very bottom of the library. Explosives. Not making it look easy, but it's kind of okay. Still no Strike It Rich. Explosives. Strike It Rich. Okay, opponent gives it up. Well, I guess our opponent figured we were going to win eventually, and I think we would have. We only got 20 cards left in our deck, so we're going to hit him eventually. Whether or not we hit him before our opponent kills us, that is another question. Hammer time A. Well, might as well bring in Besayju's. Go down a fetch. Go down a fetch. Maybe the mine collapses? For like sleight of hands, explosives. What about Veil of Summer? How worried are we about counters out of our opponent's deck? They could have some spell pierces or something. I mean, we do have the Pact negations. The question is, do we fight their permanence or do we fight the possibility of them bringing in counters? I think that's a big question. I think we definitely got to bring in Thassa's Oracle because they definitely could have ley lines or something similar. Let's try it like that. Let's try this unruly pile of of sideboard cards. All right. Well, that went well. Opponent didn't even wait for the ending, and it went well enough. Oh, all right, we're keeping this. We are keeping this. This hand is good. We got the Song of Creation. We just need the manas. We need the mana. The Strike at Riches can kind of get us there. Our land is even a temporary land, so we really just need to hit lands, and this hand's great. I guess we also could use a free spell. Opponent, mulligan in for something. Either a fast kill or sideboard cards, I assume. I mean, when the deck goes off, it's really good at doing its thing. The challenge is 100%, do you get to the point where it can go off? That is always the challenge with this deck. All right, opponent on 5, Memnite, Blooded Strand, cracks it. Opponent could also just be faster than us. That is also theoretically possible. Sigarda's Aid. Well, yeah, I mean, they could have just mulliganed into the turn 2 hammer. Well, Gemstone Mine and Serum Vision. Looking for lands. Those are lands. Do we keep the Pact negation? I think so. Put on top, put on top. All right. If we're alive on turn 3, we should win with counter backup. If our opponent has hammer here, though, I think we die before we can go off. Okay, no land. Hammer. Oh, yeah, we're dead. All right, well, that does, yeah. I mean, this does do it because we can't actually win before our opponent kills us. That's unfortunate. Opponent gets in, hits us. Well, the problem here, I think, is that we were on the draw. If we were on the play, well, and also our opponent had their fastest possible land. So what is our out? Is there an out? There isn't an out, is there? I don't believe there is. We left the Pact negation on top. Yeah, so we're literally dead. We draw one. We draw the Pact. We don't have mana. Yeah. All right. Well, fair enough. I mean, that's modern for you. Sometimes you have a turn 3 kill and your opponent has a turn 2 kill. I mean, not really sure what else we can say about that. That was literally a nut draw for us. The fastest possible kill with the double strike at Ridges. We had our fastest kill with counter backup, and it just was not fast enough. Yeah, I mean, this doesn't have our combo pieces, so we'll mulligan. Oh, this has 0 land, so we'll mulligan. All right, I guess this will keep, although not the biggest fan of this hand. So Abrupt Decay's got to go bottom. I guess Everflowing Chalice or Strike It Rich. Probably Chalice. All right, well, we'll see. Hollowed Fountain tapped, go. So we can Glittering Wish to find our Esper Sentinel. So opponent's going to get to draw a ton of cards. Besayju, play it. Glittering Wish. Opponent gets to draw a card. We will grab a Song of Creation. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Could use a land. Land and a free spell is what we really need. How nutty is our opponent's draw? Opponent Flooded Strand. Do I really just have it again? It appears so. Hollowed Fountain, untapped, goes to combat, gets in, and Colossus Hammer. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that does it. That does it. Ouch. Much Abrew About Nothing time. We are playing some Offer You Can't Refuse Godfather style Song of Creation combo, and this hand actually looks really good. Yeah, we got to put Pact to the bottom. I mean, this is well, okay, the question is always what interaction does our opponent have? But this is a turn 3 potential win. Scalding Tarn. We'll see. Thoughtseize gets us counter spells. Also really scare us. Steam Vents untapped. Strike It Rich. Go. Opponent, Scalding Tarn. Okay, so counters maybe. Second Everflowing Chalice is fine. Tap land go. We'd love our opponent to just tap out here. That would be the best. Tap out, play a Wren or something, and let us combo kill you. Scalding Tarn for Esper. Flooded Strand, opponent passes. Oh, play the land. Yeah, I think we actually kick a Chalice. Okay, so an offer you can't refuse. This is actually pretty good. This means if our opponent taps out, we can go off and we can offer you can't refuse the Everflowing Chalice. If they don't tap out, hopefully we can use offer you can't refuse to force through our Chalice. For maybe the first time ever, I think we're just rooting for our opponent to like play it to Fairy. That would actually be the best outcome for us here. Opponent, Mystic Gate. Well, I mean, we're gonna go for it. If they have double counter, then I guess they get us. It is awkward. Do we go for it? Strike it, Rich. I wish we had that Pact Negation we had to put to the bottom of our library. You know what? Let's wait another turn. The problem with an offer you can't refuse, using it on your opponent's spell, is like, sure, we can counter their counter, but then we give them the mana to cast another counter, which is less than ideal. So we'd like our opponent to tap down, or we'd like to draw the Pact of Negation, one of them. I think it was still correct to put Pact on the bottom, especially not knowing our opponent was a control deck, but Bonnet Hollow Fountain untapped. Passes. Well, let's Serum Visions. Bottom, top. Well, I mean, I guess if we have enough offer you can't refuse this, maybe we can just fight through a bunch of counters. Wandering Emperor, sure. Don't really care about that. We're going to win or lose before this Wandering Emperor kills us, I think. Opponent combat. Is this the turn? Is this the turn we have to go for it? So we dropped to 14. Celestial Colonnade. We draw offer you can't refuse. Well, I mean, I guess we don't have to go for it. Next turn, we probably have to go for it. This is kind of like a storm deck. The longer we can wait before we have to go off, the more chance we have of giving ourselves the draw that we need to protect our combo. Oh, we're going to have this huge counter war, but yeah, we got to go this turn because of Celestial Colonnade. All right. Well, I guess the time has come. Oh, we drew the Pact. Okay, that helps. It is party time. Well, let's see if we can make this work. Song of Creation. And here comes the counter war. The Pact of Negation is huge. That is huge. Counter spell. Pact of Negation. If 3 counters isn't enough, then I don't know. I don't really know what else we can do. I am nervous about these offers you can't refuse, giving our opponent the mana they need to keep casting counters. Opponent lets it go. Oh my God, it resolved. Okay. Everflowing Chalice. Let's strike it, Rich. Draw 2. Another Pact is good. Oh my goodness, are we getting this against the control deck? Engineered Explosives. Draw 2. Okay. Everflowing Chalice. X0. Draw 2. I think we're getting there. Wow, control is like our hardest matchup too. Bobble. Draw 2. Lucky Chalice. Old Border. Draw 2. Okay. Do we still have a land drop? We do. All right, play the land, crack the land. With all these Pact Negations in hand, I feel like we should be good. Yeah, let's strike it, Rich. Draw 2. So storm count's 8. Apparently our opponent just doesn't have an answer. I'll play a Bobble. Draw. I think we're going to strike it, Rich, this one. Or offer you can't refuse. Godfather, this one. Yeah, offer you can't refuse. Counter it, make some mana. There's the Grapeshot. Manamorphose, make some mana, draw some cards. Blue-red? We could be casting packs, but I feel like in this matchup, we probably want to hold on to our counters if we can. Blue. Play a land, crack a land, hopefully still have something to fetch out. Forest. Manamorphose. Draw 2. Storm count 13. Yeah, we'll draw from that. That's fine. Let's see. Red, blue. Another Pact. All right, so play Serum Visions. Draw 2. Offer you can't refuse Serum Visions. Draw 2. Make some mana. Storm count 15. Bobble. And draw 2. Okay. Yeah, now we should be good. So Bobble, Chalice. I can't believe we're winning game 1 against control. And it only took 1 counter. And all right, I think this is where we go for it. Storm count 17, opponent's at 16. We have a handful of counters. So let's Manamorphose. Make some mana, draw some cards. Red, blue, explosives. I mean, I don't know if they could have random life gain, so we're going to up the storm count a little more. And then we do want to go now, though, because we want to be able to cast our counters without dying. So, all right, storm count high, Grapeshot your face, card draw last, triggers, and game. Did we get them? I mean, with a handful of counters, we have so many counters in hand. Wow. This is a really tough matchup for our deck, too. But, I mean, our patience paid off. We waited. Maybe got a little lucky to draw the Pact as we were waiting. And then finished the game with enough counters in hand that our opponent really couldn't stop us. Well, now this gets even better. Because now we get to bring in all the Veils of Summer, the Guttural Response, and a Thassa's Oracle, I think. This could be a matchup where they have something that stops us from targeting them. We'll go down a couple of explosives, a sleight of hand, Manamorphose, a Manamorphose, and what else do we cut? Oh, the problem is we got to keep our free spells because we need those to trigger our song once we get it down. I actually think Manamorphose is probably the weakest card. Manamorphose, even though it's free because it costs 2 mana up front, it doesn't get Song of Creation started on turn 3 or turn 4 very well. It's fine once we get going, but I think it's actually the weakest. Maybe we even keep the sleight of hand. Well, all right, let's do it like that. Actually, you know what? Let's go down all the Manamorphoses. Maybe we regret this, but explosives can get rid of a bunch of Wandering Emperor tokens, which is a thing. So that makes me feel kind of good about this deck because I think this is our hardest matchup. The control deck's super, super tough. Ugh. This hand's got a little protection, only 1 land, and it's a basic forest, and we can't cast our stuff. We are on the draw. This is a redraw. I mean, this hand is close to being good, but the land situation kind of scares me. All right, well, we'll keep this. Put an offer you can't refuse to the bottom. I do like double Pact and Negation. If we ever find a Song of Creation, we should be able to force it through. Well, there's a Song of Creation. Misty Rainforest, crack it. Steam Vents, untapped. Serum Vision. Bottom and top. Gonna hold on to the bauble. Well, this is actually pretty close. Opponent's gonna opt. So next turn, we can strike it rich, sleight of hand, Stony Silence. Okay. Well, that shuts down our strike it rich, which does slow us down a bit. Sleight of hand, Gemstone Mine, play it, and pass the turn. Okay, so now we just gotta do it fairly. Losing our treasure production, how much does that hurt us? Quite a bit? Quite a bit, I think. Well, Gemstone Mine. Yeah, we're going to need a bunch of mana before we can go for this. Snapcaster opt. So maybe we are in trouble? How do we beat a Stony Silence? Because most of the mana we generate is from treasures. Yeah, so I don't even think we win by getting down a Song of Creation. Opponent passes. Offer you can't refuse. Oh, this hand was so good too. That Stony Silence ruining our day. Well, game 3, we can bring in a hate card for it. Wasn't actually expecting Stony Silence. Opponent gets in, hits us, but it is very good against us. Opponent passes. Well, there's a land. Pass the turn. So we're gonna need 2 mana to be able to win. Yeah, we gotta wait at least 1 more turn. Next turn we might be able to go for it. So our plan's gonna have to be trying to draw through our entire deck without our treasure mana, which is a problem. And then winning with Thassa's Oracle. The pinch is definitely going to be mana. That is going to be a concern. Opponent hits us. Can we wait 1 more turn? We drop to 8. We untap. Well, I mean, I think we got to try. I don't think we get another turn. We're probably going to have to get lucky for this to work. 1, 2. So blue, red, green, whatever. Ooh, blue, red, green, whatever. Song of Creation. Opponent. Oh, God. Oh, okay. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. This is even worse than I thought. So they also have Dovin's Veto. So these Pact Negations are actually not good protection. So we need to have Veil of Summer. Yeah, this is as hard as I thought. We just got lucky at game 1, yeah. Dovin's Veto and Stony Silence. Good lord. So we can bring in Abrupt Decay. That can potentially kill Stony Silence. We can bring in Besages, which can also potentially kill Stony Silence. Trim a Fetch. trim a fetch. Go down to engineered explosives. Yeah, I mean, I guess that's what we got. So we need to be able to kill Stony Silence. And we really need to find a Veil of Summer. Because with Dovin's Veto, all of our counters don't actually stop that. Has a Veil of Summer, but that's about it. We can put back the Grapeshot. We can double bobble, Glittering Wish. We're gonna still mulligan. Well, this I guess we keep. Bottom and bottom. Need to find Song of Creation. Misty, crack it. Stomping Grounds, untapped. Strike it rich. Go. Opponent. 3 cards in hand. Although, really, Song of Creation is worth infinite cards. So if we can find and resolve Song of Creation, we still win, even through the mulligan, just because, like, it really is our entire deck. Like, if we stick it, we should draw our entire deck that turn. Scalding Tard. About it passes. Guttural Response. Well, tap land, go. I mean, that's protection from counters, but right now we don't have anything to protect. That's kind of the issue. Scalding Tarn cracks it. Rafine's Tower. Mystic Gate. About it passes. Well, play Beseju, unfortunately. Strike it rich. Go. Opponent. Untaps. Oh, we've seen this with this deck since I've been playing it. Like, this is kind of the... Oh, they also have Thoughtseize. Well, that's fine. Our hand is mostly dead cards anyway. There's not a Song of Creation to take, so I don't know what they take here. Probably a counter, although Engineered Explosives is necessary because we need, if we cast a Song of Creation, we do need a free spell to get the ball rolling. Opponent, yeah, Thoughtseizes, plays a land, passes. Mishra's Bobble. Well, play the bobble. Pass the turn. Yeah, control is just, it's tough. I feel like this is a deck that you run over the non-control decks, but then control, you gotta get a little lucky. Well, take a peek. Opt on top. Sure. Opponent. Flooded Strand passes. Well, we get to draw 2. Land in Glittering Wish. Well, I mean, Glittering Wish is good. Do we play it? Yeah, probably. Glittering Wish? See if this eats a counter. Cracking the land. Well, if our opponent goes for Cryptic, we probably counter this. Oh, okay, just counter spell. Sure. Well, the upside of doing it that turn is this is a turn our opponent can play Wandering Emperor, so getting our opponent to actually tap their mana there has some value. Opponent opts to the top. Hallowed Fountain tapped. All right, come on, Song of Creation. Serum Visions. Well, okay. That's better than a completely dead draw. Bottom, and we got to keep the Veil of Summer. Play a bobble. Pass the turn. Veil of Summer is good. That is our most guaranteed way to get through our opponent's counters, especially if we can back it by more counters. But we still need to find the Song of Creation. All right, pass the turn. The other issue is the longer this takes, the more time we're giving our opponent to... All right, Memory Deluge. The more time we're giving our opponent to find a Stony Silence, which then we'd have to find a way to beat the Stony Silence, which is tricky. Mishra's Bobble, take a peek. Opponent, Hall the Storm Giant. So in our dream world, we grow Veil of Summer into Song of Creation, Pact of Negation. Well, I mean, we're getting the protection we need, which is good. That is good news. The bad news is we don't have Song of Creation. Opponent, do we have a threat? Wandering Emperor. All right, so the clock is on. Opponent untaps. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Let us win this bad matchup. Makes a Samurai. All the Storm Giants. The clock is getting fat. We got 2 turns, I think. Opponent gets in and hits us. Oh, come on, deck. Come on, deck. Come on, deck. Show us that Song of Creation. Oh, another Pact. Okay. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All right, pass the turn. Oh, boy. Opponent untaps. Can we find it? I think we have all the pieces to win if we do find it. Opponent flaring up Hall of the Storm Giant would be interesting. All right, untap land. Opponent hits us. Down to 12, down to 10. Passes. Okay, we need it to be Song of Creation right now. Offer you can't refuse. Well, we got to play this Explosives. This is an issue, because now we don't have a free spell that we can cast. But we need the Explosives to be able to blow up these Samurai, or we literally die right now. Memory Deluge. Oh, the problem is if our opponent gets another threat on the battlefield here, we die. Yeah, let's counter it. Opponent gets some treasures. Untaps. All right, I think we get one more draw. Oh, opponent not firing up all the Storm Giants. Interesting. Oh, we can't afford to lose these treasures. Yeah, all right. Well, this is it. This is it. This is it. This is it. We need the top deck, and we need the Miracle to Fairy Hero of Dominaria. Sure. Counter on a dork. Draws a card. Untaps. Is it Song of Creation? Abrupt Decay, and now we're dead. So that is why Control is such a tough matchup for this deck. Against non-control decks, we've gotten to see the deck just kind of rolls phase. Against Control, though, it is tricky. This is a nightmare matchup because the only thing that matters is getting down that Song of Creation. That is literally all that matters to this deck, and Control makes it really tough to actually get it down. So, all right, fair enough. So what do we learn this week about Godfather Song of Creation combo? And oh man, the deck is interesting. After playing a bunch of games with it, we went 2-3 in a league and lost an extra match in a 2-player queue, so 2-4 overall. Not a great record. It still kind of feels like an against the odds deck. Really, it feels like a deck that has really good and really bad matchups. As you saw, like we played against Mono Red and we just crushed them. Like if our opponent can't interact with Song of Creation, we just pretty consistently combo off on turn 3, draw our entire deck, do this ridiculous stuff and win the game. On the other hand, we really struggled with decks with interaction. When you think about it, we only have 3 copies of Song of Creation in our main deck, and we kind of have 7 with Glittering Wish, but that's not that many copies. So if our opponent can Thoughtseize and Counterspell a copy or 2 of Song of Creation, our deck just doesn't do anything. Like if we can't stick our Song of Creation, we do nothing. So we really struggle against removal interaction heavy decks, especially decks that can interact on the stack, interact with our hand with discard. So that's kind of how it breaks down. I see this deck as a deck that certainly has the power to 5-0 a league. Like if you hit the good matchups with this deck, it's absurd. It's so good. On the other hand, if you hit the bad matchups with the deck, I think you could just as easily 0-5. The only other matchup we lost was actually to Hammer Time, where our opponent just had nut draws. The other way we can lose is our opponent just being faster than us, like racing our combo. Our combo's really good at winning turn 3, turn 4 at the worst, but if we're dying on turn 2 to a Hammer Time or turn 3 and we're on the draw to Hammer Time, it doesn't really matter because we don't really interact for the most part, outside of maybe tutoring something from our sideboard. The combo, though, is super hilarious. Like, countering your own spells repeatedly to draw cards is just such a funny way to combo off and win the game. And the combo, I think we fizzled 1 time. And even if we do fizzle, we can always flash back a Strike at Witch from the graveyard, so it's not the end of the world. But really, the deck is very, very close to 100% to stick a Song of Creation with any free spell in hand and then proceed to win the game on that turn, to literally draw through our entire deck. So the combo's really good. The challenge with the deck, as we talked about, is actually resolving the Song of Creation so we can combo, because without that, we do nothing. So Godfather Song combo, I like this deck. I think it's really sweet, but it might still be a little bit against the odds just because the bad matchups are really, really tough. Even with a bunch of counters, even with the Veil of Summers, those control matchups are still pretty tricky. And then we also just get wrecked by like Death Shadow with a bunch of Thoughtseizes and stuff. So we'll have to wait and see how it shakes out. I think the deck is definitely improved over where it was 2 or 3 years ago when we played it on Against the Odds. Like, an Offer You Can't Refuse is a huge deal, and it's kind of hilarious how wrong I looked at An Offer You Can't Refuse. And I think other people did too. During spoiler season, I saw it as like a bad Swan Song, essentially, like a worse version of Swan Song, because you don't want to give your opponent treasures because they can cast another counter spell or whatever. But as a weird ritual, it's actually pretty effective, and we wouldn't be able to combo the way that we did without this card existing. Like, we'd have to wait an extra turn to generate mana. There's no Simian Spirit Guide to draw into anymore or anything. So that's kind of replaces Simian Spirit Guide in this combo deck in a really, really weird way, and allows us to go off the turn we cast our Song of Creation. So huge deal for the deck, although the deck itself, it's got the Heartless Summoning problem. Like, if we draw a Song of Creation and get on the battlefield, it feels like the most powerful deck in the format. If we don't draw a Song of Creation, or our opponent can deal with it with a counter or discard spell, then we feel like the worst deck in the format, similar to how most Heartless Summoning decks are. So anyway, that is Godfather Song combo. That's been our Much Abrew for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will talk to you soon.